today I'm going to show you how to build the rope, right? We went to the hardware and gathered the braided nylon, which is this one, a braided nylon poly cord, white, right? It wasn't very expensive. It was 97 cents per yard, and we purchased 1.5. And also we gathered the dowel, right? This one right here, which we cut the handles 15 centimeters each. And the screw eye, which is this one right here, right? The screw eye, and that's it. So they're not, it was $1, right? And plus the wood. There are different sizes, right? And they're like from 97 cents. They're not very expensive, 1.20 cents, right? As people work through the extracurricular activities or went into the competitions, jumping the rope, into the rhythmic gymnastics, there are different kinds of levels. It depends on the objective, right? All the people to get strength in their legs and their waists and the backs, right? For boxing, for taekwondo, karate, for gymnastic, different kinds, right? For ballet, right? Classic ballet also, right? The jump is important to work with, right? And like I was telling you, I cut this piece and I'll explain to you, right? I was telling you, right, that our interest is to promote the medicine, right? Which we were born with, which we learned since we were very little, as our parents care for us, right? We learn all the medicines that we took. We learn all the vaccines that we had. We learn all the medications that are good and do not react, to our blood in adverse manner. We learn what to take if we had headache, right? Our stomach ache, flu. If we have fibromyalgias or around the body, if we have any problems, right, with the skin irritations or all kinds of problems, right? And therefore, keeping up with the community's curiosity and nurturing it, we get into the sports medicine, which is something that will enhance the living style, right? And make this experience of knowing your human body as a culture, right? Part of our culture, to be knowledgeable of it. We taught you last time about this pink rope that we have, that you can find in the market, right? Which is for beginners, right? The children's, boys and girls jump the rope at home, right? And that's how they learn. And it's a cotton, where the handles are short because their little hands are short, right? And they only really play with it, throwing it into the floor, right? Grabbing it and learning something extra to play with, and they are just turning around the little thing, and barely they know how to do jumps. But they have it right around the house, and right, you can use it at home to exercise, right? Still, we don't know if it's going to be strong for you to work out. This is plastic, right? Are used in the boxing gyms, right? And also in all the gyms, the normal gyms where people go to work out and cardio, right? But it will twist. Eventually, it will tie out around your feet, right? And it won't have the flexibility required in order to make you the turns, right? Plus the handles are different, sometimes short. When people learn the rope at school, they usually the teacher usually asks them to purchase the materials at the hardware, right? And you become part of the team, right? Where they select one and then two and then multiple players, right? And you have seen that some people tells you that a nice rope and good and safe is to be jumping it by the waist level, which is going to be some sort of like this high, because you're going to use it to jump only, and really not to make too many turns, right? But just to wave, or to work with on the sides, to go back again, and this allows the lung capacity to inhale long air to the lung, and to to exhale. Another people will tell you to have the rope all the way under your armpits. That would be the ideal according to them, because that's the workout they design for their routines, right? As well, the ones that will jump on at the waist level, right? That's their routine. That's the way they learned it, and it's something really good. When the person goes in competitions, you learn how to go above your head, right? Because you will go around all the way up, as beautiful as you can look, right? All the way up, right? And it will come around, and you will go around, and you will twist your body, and you will make the turns, and the deals and wheels that you will never thought your body could able to work. And sometimes, because there are doubles and triples, and at the end of the rope, it will have to untwist, and it will have to twist, and it has to have the space in order to do what you have and you want to do the rope to work with. You go with the rope, right? And it will make you look. You go around, you put your feet, and you're gonna make some sort of like a different kinds of shapes, right? And it will make you look. You will hold your arms, right, like at the head level, right? And I will make you look great, and I will present you as the greatest, right? And that's the reason that your rope have to be like that. It depends the presentations you want to give, and the doubles and triples you're going to work with, right? And therefore you cut your rope like that, right? Because you're going to be above your head. That's the way that the people say you have to practice championship in your head in order to excel, right? And therefore you have, right, that we could priorly to this side, right? We cut it already. It won't take any time at all. It won't take any time at all. You have the screws, right? Which we're this one's right here, and we just put it in, right? This is the handle and the screw, right? Any good rhythmic gymnastic player will want to know how to make its own rope, right? The rope to start working with. And as you learn and become master, right? Therefore, and then you put the links, it's a link, a triple link, that you have to have in order to be successful as you learn the rope, right? You can have two, but if you have three links, that will allow you to have free rope in order to turn, right? And people will might think that this strategy is just for looks, but it really gives you a great engineering in order to be successful and do not step on the rope, and that way you keep up with in your mind with the timing of the music that you have to finish at the precise exact time, right? Therefore, you bring the rope, right, and you bring it like this, right, and you will leave the space. You will have to leave this much, right, because for the different kinds of turns and rounds that you have to work not all the time, and therefore in that way it will make your rope, right, like this, right. You have to give some space, right, to it in order to bring it and to shorten the length, to make it long, and to make it shorter. And just right there, we're gonna keep this rope, right, and there are different kinds of things that you can, it's a wire, right, or it's just a plastic small wire, double wire, or just one, right, and these ones are usually good and that makes the rope permanent, right, and very well hooked with all the arrangements, right. We're gonna use this one because these are something very practical, right. You can gather together, you can put this thing together, right, and if it scratches your skin, it won't bother at all, versus the other one, right, which is not comfortable to have something scratching your body. And therefore you have it done, right, almost done. The sports medicine is one of our interests to motivate you and to mention the muscles that we're going to work out, right, as we jump the rope. Because as channel which are informing you of medicine, veterinary, and surgical technologists, right, we ought to help you out, to motivate you, right, and just right there we have a nice beautiful rope to work with. And as the time passed by, that you have learned all your passes and you have learned how to cross, right, because some people will cross right here and other ones right there. But if people want to show different kinds, people can be very artistic and learn, like the one who came like crossing, but he crossed this one like this and eventually came out like that, right, which is the same thing, right, but he made the arm above your head, which make the pass, right, not really to have the rope at this level, but to have an extra effort to make something different, right, and to make a difference, to have the cross and to bring it over, right, and just right there. It's just the same way like the people who went around raising their leg and crossing the rope underneath, right, underneath, and then have the extra strength to bring the rest of their chest all the way down, and to bring the rope, right? To bring the rope down and to have the cord, right, twisted and all crossed under the leg, and have the rest of the rope coming right from over the head. We're gonna work on it later, right? We just don't have a space over here to do it. Some people have the cord like this, right, the rope, and to keep jumping like this, and to make nice movements, right, and to have dexterity to move the hands and to make nice combination of doubles and triples with it, as the way you tied it, as the way to just have it just with only one hand and do something nice, and just have the hand by it and just keep on having the rope, right, moving it at different speeds and making different kinds of movements. But everything is because the children's work when they are at home and they want to make the difference, right, as well that they you know learn the medicine, right. When the community is or has plenty of curiosity, right, they will go and investigate which muscles from the body will move to the side, to the front, to the back, right? Which muscles are gonna be twisting to the side, right? And to the back, right? The leg, right? The synchrony of all these movements, and how to feel the heartbeat, right? And how the healthy mind and the joy to have a second wind, a third wind, perhaps a fourth wind, and to know that you're not gonna be agonizing because somehow you feel like you're running out of air, and that you eventually have to stop. And whenever you know that your second wind comes up, right, you are renewed in your strength, and you're there to keep on running, to keep on exercising, to keep on learning, on reading, right, which is something very good. Because some people will say, I get bored when I read, or I get tired, my eyes, right? But as you take a deep breath and you have gone to work out and have your calisthenics, you eventually think that you're not done, that you still have more to go. And that's how you renew your interest, you renew your strength to keep on memorizing, to keep on learning, to keep on remembering, right? And to make contacts in your mind and how to remember the different things, and to perhaps make in your mind the photogenic or the photo memory, where you can see details and you can give them the right name, or you can remember everything name by name, and that you remember the entire picture, and you remember what it was in the picture, and you can explain the picture you eventually learned, right, you saw and you heard about, right. And it's the same thing when you heard the people, right? It's for better communication also, because you're listening to people, and the people are telling you a story as they speak with you or to you, right? Or towards you, because sometimes people are not really talking to you. They are saying something for whoever is there to listen, right? And that's the way they learn from their parents. Some people will try to tell something, but they're not going to be very clear because they're not to make promises, right? And therefore they will say something, but they're not going to be telling you specifically what, and they're not going to telling you specifically to you, right? And some people will tell you something, right, that might be interesting, and that's the way they live their lives, is the way their culture are. And in order to move on with the different kinds of cultures and ideas that people has and motivations that people have in order to keep on living, by exercising and having the extra energy and air in your mind, right? It will provide you the patience to figure out what is the story their words are drawing for you to understand. If they are following or focusing on the main ideas for you to know what is it, what they're up to, right? And you sit down and with patience analyze, with patience, right? Analyze what's going on around your life to take advantage of the best opportunities that you have in this world, right? To follow the communication in order to see who has the clue, right, to make money, to have an industry, to have a nice purchase, to build a school, to be able to tell people, right, and to work the sports medicine and to have the knowledge about the human body, right, and work it out with patience, having the air, having the water, having the love and the care, and probably the sunlight, right, will provide you a means to be very successful. Therefore, for right now, you have your rope built up, right, and you can paint the handles or you can put cloth in it, right? You can put a ribbon, you can put a flower, you can put feathers, a feather or something cute, something nice, right? By when you go into competitions which are not just done at school, which is something very nice to know, we got to know that competitions on rhythmic gymnastics were at the private clubs, right? You became a member and you have instructors and you have people from different ages coming over, jumping the rope, right? And they charge to get into the competitions $5-10, and the money they raised, it was for good ideas, right? To donate to places like schools and to renew their gardens, their gyms. They have a noble causes that they use their money for, right? They had competitions where the people was presenting themselves with suit, right? They dressed up with a perhaps a nice skirt, usually 4 fingers above the knee and not very wide, in order to allow the rope not to get in between the clothes, right? Some people choose just to have a short and a nice color blouse, right? Some people went to make these geese, right? To have something cute in their hairs, to make it dramatic in order to win, right? And for that purpose, this kind of ropes, you can paint them also, right? And you can put some beads, just a little bit, right? You can as the color of the garment, right, is, some people they just like to wear in competitions just jumping suits, right? And if they are very and they're good. But really what it causes cultivation is the little dresses that people wear, right? It can be a flower jumping because it looks cute. It can be a little insect jumping. It can be a little bird jumping. It can be a bear jumping. It can be a meaningful something like a wind, like a feather falling in the wind dress, right? Which we remember one, and maybe I'll show you how to make one of those dresses, right? Because as you learn how to build a nice robe, you also learn how to make your garments, which are usually a rectangle with a little elastic string, which is going to make the skirt, right? It's just one little rectangle, with some design or something on a flower or a nice color, so maybe shiny dots, right? And a blouse, which is nothing else but just one other rectangle, which is sleeveless, right? Maybe 3/4 of the sleeve, and where it looks like balloon, but as it has a string at the bottom, at the level of one little dress, right? It turns around and making it look like a wind, which is twisted around the body, and where the feathers are falling down, which is like a velour, a little beef, right, all the way down to the length of the little dress, right? And those are meaningful names for dresses in a competition, right? And these are for private clubs, right? For even the families, the communities, the church, which eventually they open tournaments and competitions in order to obtain funds, right? It's just the same like a running races, right? People usually cooperate with $5, $10 in order to enter the competition. It's for a noble cause. Sometimes they want to pavement some sides of the city to help with the parks, and and it's something really noble. Therefore, all these instructors, right? And even in extracurricular activities at school, people have all these little things done, right? Especially the garments, right? Um, and usually the private clubs, they have special gowns when they go into tournaments, right? For different causes. Well, for right now, you have your rope, right? And you can build it, and you and your brother, your sister can have one. This is one piece, right? And it's gonna be plenty to make 1, 2, 3, 4 ropes, right? Because it will give you 4 sets of handles, and it's for $1.90, right? And the screws are not very expensive, right? There are little, and therefore this kind of screws are in the handle, right? And these little links are sold out by the feet, right? So you will find like a 12 little links in the feet, right? Square feet, square, maybe 7 links, and there are 90¢, right? So that just right there you have 4 handles for $1 and some cents. You have for 90¢, for dollar each one of the little links, right? A chain. And this one is 80¢, 90¢, per feet, right? And therefore you can have it. It's not very expensive. You can have it for many years as you wish. Eventually, as you learn how to move your arms, because your arms will extend when you have your rope right all the way above your head. You will learn how to cross from here, from the top, very top, right, and go all the way down, right, and you won't have any trouble at all. You will go again and open your arms, right, and that's a nice thing. You're gonna have your exercises where you just go and have your feet up, and you're gonna jump with this leg, right, and you're gonna have to turn that around because you learn how to spread your arms, right? And the same thing is when you bring the rope all the way from the back, right? You bring it like that, you go the way, and the rope is gonna go over your head. Well, I don't have space over here, but it will bring all the rope over. And is the nice thing about it. You have to untie, right, when you go into the next levels, right, as you are at school and you decide that you want to be part of the greatest Olympic team, and therefore you learn how long and how short you want. Eventually you learn how to make it fourths, to jump the fourth, right, how to do all kinds of nice things, how to get your rope, to put it around, to let it fall on, to go around, right? Usually people learn with the little steps like that. People who have to jump learn, right? That in order to learn how to help your body to jump, you have to move your feet to the front first, right? That's the first movement, right, for the jumpers to move. Eventually you learn how to do the double, right, and the double, right, the double, and that's how start making your body jump and make your movements, right. Eventually you're gonna pull your body little by little, right, and you don't have to do it right away because the experience on it are very, very right. And you 1 and 2, you 1 and 2, you 1 and 2, right, and eventually until you make your little jumps, right, you start jumping, right, and you start just the same like dancing, right, and you go like that, and you exercise yourself, right. If just the same, like if you don't want to really dance but somebody invites you to dance and you don't really feel like those people, but you just move like an awesome, like you don't feel like it, right, and you just, right, start making your little jumps, and that's how your back and your body start feeling, right, and that's when you start, when you feel that you no longer have a problem jumping like that, because it's the way you jump over your rope, right, and that's how you train yourself in how to jump, and then you start, right, raising your little legs all the way up, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, right, and then you move to one side, and then you move to the other side, right, and that's how you learn how to have your rope around you, right, all the time, because that's the way you do, right. Not necessarily that you leave your rope on the floor, on anywhere, right. You learn to have your rope with you, right, all the times, and have it, right, because that's the position that will give you the beginning to move your arms, right. A lot of people learn how to move the legs, but not the arms, right, and that's the problem with some of the jumpers. and they find out that their synchrony is not available in their steps because they learn how to drop the rope on the floor. The idea is to have your stuff with you at all the times as you are jumping, right? Something very little, right? If you don't feel like jumping, you can always start like this, right? You have your rope and you feel your rope, right? Because you ought to, the mind unconsciously help you, telling you what you have in your hand, right, is something that is not too long. It's not something that is too short, right? It's your mind telling you what you have over your shoulders is nothing else but just a cord, right? Something over your shoulders is over you, it's a cord, and it's a cord that is around your back, right? And your mind is telling you you have a handle in your hand, right? And the size of your handle, your mind is talking to you and is adjusting your body to it, right? And it's telling you you're moving your body, and you're moving your body and your muscles, right? And then when you know your muscles, right, your mind reviews your muscles names, right? And if you know the origin of those muscles and their old attachments of those muscles, your mind go all the way to the origin of those muscles and to the attachments of those muscles. And if you know the veins and the arteries that goes around there, your mind will tell you, and by the way, all these veins and all these arteries are around there. And if you feel, your heart beating, it will say that they're pumping blood, and the valves which are inside of your veins, right, are there, and how many valves along the certain muscles that you have in mind, right? And that's the wonderful thing about learning medicine, right? Which is a part of your culture, right? And which makes you, right, capable, right? And you can be able to make a life, profits, savings, becoming a doctor, right? And to learn, right? Specialties as a dietitian, right? I know 2 or 3 people who went into the military, right? And they gathered the expertise on cooking, right? They learn about natural deterrence, right? About natural disasters, about what to do and how to rehydrate, and all these foods they were sending because they were not able to send containers with like milks and all these liquids, right? So all this dry food, all these dietitians who went into the military to learn, they learned how to reconstitute all these foods, right? And they had plenty of food for everybody, right? And they were doctors, and they were called entry-level mess managers, specialists, right? They were called the managers of cook, and the people under the training, or the people who didn't have any careers or degrees, right? But they go into the military because they just decided to make their path like that, and these people were very, very successful in these diets, and they were explaining, right, how to provide all these benefits from all this knowledge, and they became dietitians, right? And they were given all these symposiums and conferences in regards of how to use all these dry foods when people are obese, when people need to have all these water compounds, right? When they don't need to have all these compounds and all these foods that provides all this fat tissue to people, and therefore the all this experience that people have along their lives, how they work firefighting system into the EMS and fast response, during natural disasters, and it is a very, all this experience that these people had became part of a very successful doctor's degree, right? Because they were able to use their skills into the sports medicine, into the even when people are after surgery, right? They go into the dietitian's office to order the special meals, because people having already gotten after surgery, right? And they go into the post-operative unit, right, to stay there for maybe 3 days or 12 or 15, right? And eventually all these people who can be there, because usually those post-operative units are for after surgery, they go to restorative unit, where people eventually finish the entire recovery and then go home, right? And it's something very nice, the way people put together all their skills, and everything becomes part of your life, right? And we are congratulating you, because you have interest to move on and learn and to become and to make part of your life. All these trainings are nurturing the community's curiosity and boot camps at home. Let us continue with our training in another time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.